Hi, this is Dimitri Bilgir, and I just wanted to share with you a few of the things that we will look at on the weekend and just give you an idea of some of this new kind of cutting-edge stuff. Now, I've been at this since 1988, and I got some cutting-edge stuff that I've really rarely taught before that I think you're really going to like, and I just want to give you a sense of what that's about. First off, if you're interested in my stuff or want to see videos of me talking about facilitation, giving you some tips, go to facilitatorsclub.com, and you can sign up there for free and be part of that growing club of facilitators. So, okay, I just want to tell you about a few things that that'll be really helpful for you that you'll get on this weekend. Now, one of them is this idea of levels of guys versus levels of processes. A lot of times people say to me, well, I want more advanced processes. Like, well, why do you want more advanced processes? Well, I want more advanced processes so I can work with harder guys. And what we've seen over the years in doing this is that, sure, advanced processes are fun. You should have them if you want them. Why not? But very often people will encounter the same problems trying to use advanced processes that they encounter trying to use basic processes. So how I'm starting to think now, and I want to encourage you to think, is not so much in terms of there's basic processes and advanced processes, but more that there are basic guys and advanced guys to work with. So you run into more difficult men that you're trying to facilitate, and that's kind of the new level. So, for instance, you need to know how to handle types of guys. Like, okay, so there's a guy who steps out who answers everything monosyllabically and doesn't really seem engaged. Or there's a guy who might have a magician wound in that he's confused, he doesn't really see things very well. You ask him a question, he answers a different question. And he has a sovereign wound, a king wound, where he doesn't really know what he wants. Well, you need to know how to handle those guys, or just guys who seem really fuzzy, who don't know how to, they don't seem to understand what we're doing when we do carpet work. You'll put them in a role, but they don't understand that they're in a role. You'll put out roles, they don't understand what you are doing with these roles, and talking to them about it doesn't seem to help. So those are the kinds of, it's not so much advanced processes, it's advanced guys, and we're going to touch on how do you work with those guys with whatever is necessary, whatever tool you've got, whatever tool is necessary. Okay? So, and the way I'm saying, it's a myth you need a more complex process. What you need is a more refined ability to handle difficult guys. So we're going to really look at that. So you can come into this weekend and learn the very basic stuff if you need it, but also learn how to really drop down for tougher guys if you need that too. Another thing that I'm really starting to work on more with people is how do you run faster processes that are still excellent? This is something that in the Warrior Weekend all the time we come up with. We want to run faster processes. How do you do it? How do you get going? We need to have standards of quality in what we do, but we also need to have standards of speed. So what I'll share with you is stuff that you can set up in how you structure the carpet to make sure you go faster. Also, specific things you can do in yourself in the way you go about facilitating that'll make things go faster. And also then specific moves you can make from moment to moment, from here to here, that skip steps, that jump things, that go faster. And then, of course, we can combine that with working with difficult guys. How do you go faster with difficult guys? These ideas click together. And then finally, there's a distinction in my mind between work you do in your I group and work you do on the weekend running carpet work. And you need to be skilled in both if you're going to do both. And so while there's a lot of overlap, I'm going to hit on what are some of the key things that you can do in your I group that you can't do on the weekend that really make a huge difference. Now look, you're going to your I group in order to really continue to move the ball down the field in your life. But move the ball down the field on what? The things you most long for, the things you most care about. And I will show you a way that you can start to really help hold each other to account and move each other forward, not just on working past the complaints that you've got about your life and how things aren't working, but to really stay focused on what's most important and to get past the emotional blocks week to week so that you actually are advancing on creating the life that you really want to be creating, rather than just getting support for you or your life. You're actually getting support for you doing what you want to do in your life and achieving what you want to achieve. So I want to make sure you get that, because it's some real powerful stuff you can plug in to how you do your I groups. And secondly, of course, on the weekend. What's the difference between iGroup work and weekend work? And how can we make sure that when you start weekend work, you start with a bang and really get moving right away in it? So those are some of the things we're going to talk about and work with each other on. How we're going to do it is there'll be lecture, there'll be discussion, but also there'll be hands-on stuff. I tend to do what I call process fragments, that you'll be able to use the different tools of this work as we practice them together on different problems you have in your life. So there's this part of the process. We'll all break into small groups and work on it, and I'll monitor you. There's this part. You'll learn it, see it, and then we'll all break into small groups and monitor it. And then we'll go from there to be able to snap those things together at the end. One thing I love about this workshop is there's generally some point where somebody says, wow, I see now. It's all so simple. And that's the moment that I want you to be able to get to. So be able to really not just see the big picture of this work, but also see how you can bring that down into the next step and the next step and the next step on the carpet. So those are some of the things we'll cover. And this is Dimitri Bilgir. I'm looking forward to meeting you.